Aside from the financial cushion that the fellowship gave me, a lot of it was also about the confidence to really strike out on a different path. I ran for city council in 2009 in the Democratic primary to represent Lower Manhattan. Running for political office was probably the hardest and most fun thing that I've ever done. I spent a lot of my time outside of work attending different events that are put on by education organizations, advocacy groups, community organizations. And one of the things I learned during the campaign is that there really is no substitute for showing up. For me, it's very important to be out in the community, understanding what's happening on the ground, unfiltered by some of the intermediaries in the media and the like. All throughout college and beyond, I'd really been humbled by a number of the experiences. So certainly the not winning the election was probably the most public of those kinds of failures. I generally learned more from those experiences than things that turned out my way. It really wasn't until I came to the Northeast for college and to live in New York City that it became very clear that there's huge disparities in terms of how immigrants experience life in America, especially those who are undocumented. When I graduated from school, this was in 2006, and received some very generous offers. I thought that the world wouldn't really care having one less banker, that there would be someone else to take my spot. Some colleagues and I started up an organization called Single Stop USA to provide a one-stop location for families to get counseling for a range of benefits, and then also to receive legal and financial counseling. And I was their first vice president of programs, and we really expanded it all across the city. Income inequality has been an issue that's defined, unfortunately, much of American history. And a lot of the policies that we have in place, it seems to us, doesn't appear to help us roll back that trend. In fact, it's making it worse. Neither of my parents come from particularly wealthy backgrounds, and they knew that the opportunities here in America would be much greater for them. And they also knew that the educational opportunities for me would be much greater here in the US than back in Korea. I think I was very lucky to get the fellowship because I know it wasn't my grades that stood out. I'm pretty sure I wasn't the top academic performer in my fellowship class, with teachers that are laid off, with senior citizen centers that are going to close. When I heard that I got it, it amazed me that Paul and Daisy would have so much faith in me in making this kind of bet. That's really been a great motivating force for me. I want to spend the rest of my life doing things where I think that I can have an impact in the public and private sector, and an impact in improving and making America stronger.